I have given the basic intro of what we are going to talk about, and I just want to get into the conversation. So, first of all, tell me, how did you get into boudoir photography, and what was your experience? What are your challenges?
Well, I got into it kind of incidentally. I didn't kind of, I wasn't planning anything like that. I went to my master's in photography in UK, and when I started looking at fashion photographers, I came across
Okay.
Henry Clinton, I came across, Keeper Dunn, and there's a lot of other photographers who were quite obsessed with the news, people around me. And from there, when I started doing portraits, one of my friends said that she wanted me to shoot her nude. So it kind of started there, and then I started
Okay.
with other people. So it started with my college, university mates who I started shooting. So it
Okay.
was very organic. I remember even putting out a flyer at the university board, and because it was an
Huh.
art school, everybody was quite kind of interested, cooperative. It was a very easy
Okay.
environment to actually start it in.
Okay. But Shivaji, did you face any stigma from your family? Like, we just know how Indian families are. तो ऐसा कहा गया that you shouldn't do this, or were you scared of showing those pictures to your parents, or just telling them what your actual work is?
So, when you asked me that, share one incident about like a funny incident,
Yeah, yeah.
which is great. It kind of comes into that category perfectly.
Category.
So,
Okay.
so I was in UK for 4 years. I didn't come back to India, right?
Okay.
Like I didn't even come back for a holiday. I just lived there for 4 years. And during this time, so my parents kind of, uh, because my mom's from an art background, she's a classical dancer. थोड़ा सा art का influence करते हैं. Dad likes to draw and paint, but does very occasionally. He used to take photographs
Okay.
when he was younger. So there was a little bit of art background there. So there was a little bit of support. In terms of
Okay.
community, somehow they took it in the stride. It wasn't that difficult, but something very
Okay.
fun to happen because our parents are the most racist, sexist people we know, but we don't
True.
want to
Yeah.
admit it. Right? It's too late to kind of dissing them, but we still try. We still try and kind of
Yeah.
make them understand that the world is different, and these are what things are, right? And for them to
Yeah.
accept that, it takes them a bit of time. I remember what happened was I used to shoot female nudes all the time while I was there. And I
Yeah.
used to put up some of that stuff on Facebook as well and things like that. So
Okay.
now my parents at that point were not on Facebook. Okay, but my mama was.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
one day what happened was I shot one of my colleagues, one of my male colleagues. Okay. I shot him nude in my house. But it was
Oh.
all done like in a very, you couldn't see anything, you couldn't see anything, but you could make out that he was completely naked. And I put that up on Facebook, very proudly, of course.
Okay.
And like in a day or two, I suddenly get a phone call, and my mother goes like, "What have you done?" I'm like, "What have I done? What happened?" Like, "What have you put up?" I'm like, "What have I put up? What happened?" Like, no. Are you okay? Like, is everything okay? Like, what are you doing? Like, what do you mean? What am I doing? I still couldn't understand what were they talking about. What were they kind of saying?
Yeah.
So it was really funny. Listen, that then they're like, "You put up something on Facebook." I'm like, "Yeah, I put up stuff on Facebook."
Yeah.
Uh, and they're like, "No, your mama told me that you put up something very, very bad." I'm like, "What very bad?" She's like, "You put up some naked guy."
Something which is
Yeah.
guy. Okay.
So, like, how hypocritical are you? I put up naked women all the time. That's okay with you. I put up a naked
But
woman.
if
That's a problem.
need,
Right.
ah,
Because their
yeah,
first
this.
jump to this is like, is he straight or not? That's like, their mind is
Yeah.
there. Their mind doesn't go anywhere else. Right? Like, why would I shoot man? Like, it just like
Yeah.
occur to them like, how is that like even his interest? Right? So it was quite interesting. And then I told her, have you seen it? So she goes, no. But Mama told me it's this and this. I'm like, have you seen it?
Okay.
She's like, no. So I said, okay, listen, nearby our neighbors, like our close family friends, my childhood friend, she had a computer. So I told her, listen, you go to her place, ask her to show you what I have posted, and then you
Yeah.
tell. So a few days
Yeah.
later, when she went, she saw the post. And then the next phone call we had, she was like, it's not that.
It's
It's not. It's okay.
okay.
I'm like,
Okay.
अच्छा. So my
And
book
actually
has always
from
been like shift कर जाता है वो. They come onto the right track once you explain things.
things to them, yeah. And from how many years are you doing this photography?
Photography as a hobby, I started in 2007, and
Okay.
professionally from say 2009-10.
Okay. And Shivaji, how do you make the atmosphere comfortable? Because I know ki especially when you are starting, things are very awkward, maybe between the photographer and the model, and if there is, makeup artist or someone. So how do you make sure that everything is just fine when you are starting or working?
I mean, if you're talking about
Especially if the model is new, or if she is experiencing this for the first time, so because I felt that, so I'm just
yeah,
asking about your experience.
are you
Yeah.
talking about shooting nude or lingerie, or are you talking about shooting in general?
No, shooting nude.
Okay. So firstly, shooting nude, there's no makeup artist.
Okay.
I don't do the makeup artist. Most of my stuff is very like I tell people like काजल पहन के आ जाओ, कुछ भी थोड़ा सा makeup कर लो, मुझे फर्क नहीं पड़ता because
Okay.
it's not about trying to look like somebody else or trying to look this thing. It is trying to be as natural as possible. A little
Possible.
bit of
True.
expression of the eye is still okay. Like थोड़ा सा करेगा अच्छा लगेगा. That's it.
Yeah.
Most people in my personal work is makeup done on their own. Right.
Yeah.
However simple, however bad, however good, all done by themselves.
वही. हाँ. Okay. Okay.
So that's
बस
one.
बाकी और कुछ करना पड़ता है, तो just have a good conversation with the model before you are starting it out. Yeah. Do you need to do all of that?
Yes, a huge conversation. Like the one thing you need
Okay.
is before you even meet, right? You're doing phone calls, you're doing video chats. I mean, now we are doing video chats and becoming a such. But doing
Okay.
phone calls, you're doing any kind of communication. You have to
Okay.
do a whole bunch of things. One is give them an idea of what you're going to do, right?
Okay.
Because you don't want anybody to come to this without knowing what's going to happen.
Yeah. You don't want them to be unprepared.
Yeah, unprepared. So
Yeah.
I don't like giving references to anybody else's work because I don't try and do anybody else's work. So what I do is I give my own references. I say, listen, this is my work. This is what I've done in the past. And it's going to be somewhere around this. I mean, if it's going to be with a further discussion. So let's say, because even in nudity or even in portraiture, even in erotica, even in lingerie, there's so many subgenres. Like, you get into things and you can create something which is emotionally somewhere else. So what to do is you go with a blanket, understanding that this is the space we're kind of working in. This is where you're going to be traveling. It's if it's any assurance, if it's somebody doing it for the first time, you say this is only going to be two of us. It's not going to be anybody else. But the reason your work is important is because let's put it this way: like if you wanted to be an astronaut, right? If you said you wanted to go to the moon, so you wouldn't go to like NASA and say, "Arey yaar, mujhe moon jana hai, chalo do." Right?
You have to start. Yeah. There are
like NASA will like say, "Okay, I want to put you on a rocket." They'll say, "But have you done this before? Do you have any qualifications?"
Qualifications. True.
Right? Do you have any experience? Are you trained? It's the same thing. When a woman is going to shoot with you, she has to ask you these questions like, have you done this before? Are you trained? Do you have any experience? So your work automatically becomes your trust factor, your portfolio, your half your communication is your work, right? So automatically you say, listen, I've done this, 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 I've done this. I've done all these things. So I start with, this is my minimum level I want to work with. Beyond this, you see what you're comfortable with. Right?
Okay.
So
then whatever she is comfortable, she may.
And then that varies because somebody might come and then they might feel like, "Mujhe ye bhi nahi karna." Then it's a like we say, okay, let's forget about it. Don't worry about it. It's a day wasted, but it's still better than somebody doing something they don't want to do.
Yeah.
That's fine. Then
True.
somebody comes and they say, we planned this, but they feel like trying something else. So then you
Okay.
explore within that. Like wherever she's
Yeah.
comfortable, whatever she's comfortable, you explore that subcategory, genre, whatever you want, mood,
Okay.
whatever it is. So these are things which you
Okay.
leave open, but there are certain things which you set in stone to. You should know, you should have all this information, right?
Okay.
Before you come. Now, once you come, I have this very basic thing is break the ice really quickly. Because if you're meeting somebody for the first time, it's always going to be nervous for them. They've been thinking about it. They've been, they've been in
Yeah.
thought. They've thought about it for 2 days in advance. They've reached their levels. So there's something which I used to do earlier, which is I don't do it in Bombay anymore. Is when I was in UK,
Okay.
models used to come and stay with me for 4-5 days.
Oh, okay.
Right? Because they would travel from
Yeah.
different parts of Europe. They would travel and they would stay with me. And we would hang out, we would shoot, we could shoot anytime we wanted. Like we could get up at
Oh,
1 in the
okay.
morning and just say, listen, let's go for a walk and shoot. So it was that kind
Okay.
of an
So
environment.
bring that comfort level. Yeah.
Yeah. No, so the
Okay.
first thing you do is when somebody enters, and I'm talking about long journey people, not
yeah.
people from within the city, but I would say, अच्छा जब मैं चाय बना रहा हूँ मुझे help कर दो, like in English of course, like I'm making tea, help me,
Okay.
right? Give me this cup, give me that
Yeah.
place, right? And eventually in that time I would help them clean my house also, like. So the idea is to make somebody do something which so menial, like it doesn't make any sense, right? But what's
Okay.
happened is the attention, all the attention has gone simply into like finding a cup, right? So you've broken the
Yes.
ice without realizing that you've done it as an act of breaking that.
Done it. Okay. Yeah,
Right?
that's really interesting. Yeah.
Like even in Bombay, if somebody's coming, first thing I ask, do you want a water, chai, coffee, what do you want? And the moment they say something, I call them into the kitchen. I say, come, I'll give you water, I'll give you coffee, I'll give you this, I'll make it in front of you.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
So you look into that and you don't keep it formal. Like you don't say, Acha, sit, now we're going to do this, in some time.
Yeah.
That person feels like, they're not part of where they've entered. So,
Yeah, because a person is really opening up to the most vulnerable side of herself or himself. I think that's why that conversation is very important.
very important. If you're going to read for 3 hours or 4 hours, you need to have a conversation for 30 minutes at least.
At least, okay. And Shivaji, any advice to all those aspiring girls who would want to try or experiment with nude or boudoir photography? Like anything that you think that they should be prepared about or they should take care before going before the camera?
See, it's the same thing. There are two things you look at. One is who you're working with. Secondly, is are you ready for the consequences if there were to be consequences? And when I say consequences, I'll come to that. Firstly, always work with people you trust. So it might not be a problem. It might be your boyfriend, your lover, your husband, your childhood friend. It doesn't matter who it is. Somebody you can trust, and you can work with them. Try something out with them, experiment with them. Or if it's a doctor, automatically their work becomes their, it's like your prep. When you look at their work, you know कि अच्छा ठीक है, इन्होंने इतने जनों के साथ shoot किया, इसके साथ shoot किया. What you could do this further is message that other girl he shot. Right? And I'm planning to work with this photographer. Is he okay?
Okay.
Girls will look out for each other when it comes to this
cross-check.
Yeah. If you're doubtful, I always rather have somebody cross-check me 5 times than somebody come up, show up and say like, oh, I'm very, like, I don't know, I'm feeling it. That's much worse. Because if you're coming to me, it's better that you do your research, do your homework, do whatever you need to do. Right?
Okay, and then
put in that. You're already covering a lot of base when it comes to that. So that's one thing is prep in who you're working with, be safe. Now the other thing that comes is how does, like, let's say your pictures go out somewhere, somebody recognizes you, even if it's like this thing. And if you're doing it with identity, without identity, whatever it is, always be prepared somewhere deep down that there is a chance it might come up. Now you've got to be like, maybe not in the complete anonymous part, but some ex-lover might recognize you if they see, right? Like something might happen. always
Something might happen, yeah.
something might happen. Somewhere deep down, be a little ready or build up some courage. If you're trying this, even though there's complete anonymity in most cases, try
Okay.
and understand that there is a chance that somebody could know who it is, or somebody
Okay,
could find out
yeah,
who you are.
yeah.
This-
You have to be in the mind frame. It might just come up, yeah.
But you've got to be a little brave in that part. You know what? If it happens, I'll handle it.
Okay.
You can't go in
Okay.
thinking that मुझे कुछ नहीं होगा, मुझे ये नहीं होगा, but because we are in a very weird society, right? We are in a society where
Yeah.
this is just not understood. So it is misconstrued. It's really horrible with what happens with if something goes wrong. Like it's just treated,
Yeah.
and
And yeah, please.
these are the guts. Yeah,
Okay. And I was asking that Shivaji, is there any contract ki matlab, if you are clicking my pictures, you don't have to use it without my permission, or you have to use only certain pictures and not the other ones? तो ऐसा कुछ होता है contract?
So I used to do a model release form while I was in UK, right? Which basically there's this thing that normally all these contracts are, by the way, in favor of the photographer. None of them are in favor of the model.
Okay,
Right.
okay, yeah.
If you're
One
working-
major point to be, yeah, noted, yeah.
So because I mean, see, if somebody's coming to shoot with you, I mean, there is to look at it. There could be photographers who abuse their power, right? Misuse their power, and then they say, "Listen,
Yeah.
I'm going to put it out anywhere," and then they put it out. Obviously, that can happen. But also,
Okay.
women have it's both sides of the thing. Like, even let's say somebody who wants to shoot with you, and then they say like, "Oh, I didn't want to do this. You did this without my consent." So it's a double-edged sword.
Difficult. Yeah,
Right.
double-edged sword, yeah.
For us, we have to be careful normally. So I don't actually get a contract signed right now in Bombay. Right? I do it a lot on trust. When I was in
Yeah,
UK,
and
I would get model release on site.
Okay. And one person is asking that where to get the contract release form.
It's
format.
available online.
I think online मिल जाएगा ना? हाँ.
Download the model release form, so you can just.
Okay. Fair
So
enough.
it's personal choice. You could literally not do a model release form, just take a video before you're shooting saying that, "Hi, I'm this. Today's date is this. I'm this years old, and I consent to this
Okay.
photo shoot, which will involve nudity, this, that. Well, like, I mean, literally, you can
Okay.
take a video. It's today's day
Okay.
and age.
Do you take videos of models, before clicking them to just be on
I
the safer
don't,
side?
but I'm saying that's a solution. Like that's something.
That's the solution. Okay. And Shivaji, कभी ऐसा हुआ है आपके साथ that you have done shoot with a girl, but then eventually she regrets doing it, and then she comes back to you saying that please don't use these pictures, वरना मुझे family वाले बोल देंगे and all of that.
All the time.
बहुत बार.
All the
Yeah.
time. I would say percentage-wise, maybe 10%. I wouldn't say it's a very high, but percentage-wise, it's a 10%. It's because you brought this up. I want to talk about this other side of the coin on this one.
Okay.
I think it's something which a lot of people should hear. So I think it's something we should talk about. Is a lot of photographers. I'm now speaking in for photographers. Is a lot of photographers get approached saying that मुझे shoot करो. ठीक है?
Okay. Yeah.
Like you get hundreds of requests saying that मुझे shoot करो, please shoot me. There's that. There's a ton of that, like every day.
Yeah.
The more popular you become, the more messages.
Point for choices.
Yeah. No, but see, now here's the thing. People have to understand, and I'm not just talking about women. Let's say even clients, everybody has to understand. Every time I say yes, like, okay, Janvi, I'm going to shoot you. Okay? Now, what does that entail? I am a working person whose main job is photography, right?
Yeah.
So I have to earn my living from it. I have to earn my rent, I have to earn my food, I have to earn my savings, I have to earn all my expenses through this. Now I have 30 to 31 days to do that. Okay?
Okay, yeah.
Right? Let's think about it that way. Now, if somebody asks me, Janvi asks me, like, Shivaji, shoot me. So
Yeah.
when I decide that I'm going to shoot January, what's going to happen? First, we're going to spend roughly half a day figuring out कि कहाँ पे shoot करेंगे, कैसे shoot करेंगे, क्या करेंगे, क्या ideas होगा, back and forth होगा ideas का WhatsApp पे. There'll be a lot of interaction, there'll be a lot of this thing. Mentally, you're giving up at least a day's headspace to
Headspace, yeah.
prepping for that shoot. Now understand, we are creative people. For us, headspace is time, right?
Yeah,
Headspace
yeah.
is money.
Headspace
It's not
is money.
physical
Yes,
labor.
very important.
We are not about physical labor. I'm not saying I
Yeah.
prepped one day per January shoot because मैंने ये किया, वो बनाया, वहाँ गया, वो नहीं. Literally, if you came home and I shot with you and you went back, my one day's headspace was before the day of the shoot. Okay? Then most of the day when I'm shooting you is also gone. Before that, I won't keep any work. After that,
Yeah,
I'll
and
just
after
relax.
that,
I'll relax. I'll not be working again. So that's another day gone. Okay. उसके बाद,
Okay.
let's say if I've shot 1,000 images, उसे shortlist करना. ठीक है. That takes
Yeah.
2 to 3 hours. ठीक है. उसके बाद editing. Let's say even if I'm editing 6 images, I can take up to 30 to 40 minutes to edit one image. Right. So if I'm putting out 4 hours, 5 hours of editing,
yeah,
but editing doesn't happen in one go. Like I don't sit for 5 hours.
yeah.
I'll
Most
spend
photographers
about
would
2 or
understand
3
this.
days.
Yes.
I will sit over for 2 or 3 days. So now suddenly what has happened is when I've said, okay, I'm going to shoot Janvi, I've actually wasted 4 days of time and mental space.
Yeah. And then the model will say, please photo upload mat karna.
Then what the model will say, photo upload mat. But other than that, forget that, is understand that when somebody has to say yes to you or no to you, can you justify my 4 days ka earning gone behind you because you wanted some pictures?
Yeah. No, that's very important. Which,
Out of 31 days, you made me incapable of earning for 4 days.
yeah. And Shivaji, now that we emphasized on earning through photography, so tell me, how did the transition happen? Because most photographers struggle. Yeah, उनका ये part-time काम होता है, part-time photography and part-time doing something else. But then, how do you earn from doing boudoir photography, from doing nude photography? How does that work? Or you do also other types of photography and earn from it?
So I do all other different kinds of photography. But what happens is, firstly, okay, let's address this in 2 ways. One is anything that you do. When you go to become a doctor, how do you become a doctor? Do you walk into a hospital and say, "Arey yaar, mujhe surgery karna hai yaar. Mujhe heart transplant karna." Do you say that?
I get it, yeah. No, definitely not.
If you wanted to get
it's a whole
No, just time it out. If you wanted to get in and do a heart surgery, what is it that you need to do before that?
I think it all starts from studying it.
No, count it out. Give it to me in days, years. Give it to me in like actual hard numbers. If I wanted to put a knife in your hand and say heart surgery perform karo, what did you need to do?
It takes 9 to 10 years.
9 to 10 years, right? Where you spend money out of your own pocket.
True. Yeah.
Do a degree, you live in another town, you live in another city, your parents sponsor you, give you pocket money, give you rent, give you school fees. Then you train, then you become an intern, then you train under other surgeons. Nobody's going to make you the head surgeon in the first day. You have to go through I don't know how many surgeries to get to the point where, as assisting, when you get on to you become the main doctor. So it takes about 9 to 10 years, 8 to 10. I don't know what the exact answer is. I'm not going to put that. But whatever it is. Now understand the same thing, that if you want to become a photographer, give it that same respect. Right?
Okay.
How do you say that I'm going to earn from the first minute I decide to do photography?
Yeah. रातों रात कोई नहीं बन जाता in whatever field you are.
तुम lawyer बनने में भी क्या पहले दिन बोलोगे हाँ मैं तो law करूँगा, not even पढ़ूंगा, like I will do law. It doesn't work that way, right? So I love there's this expectation that I'm going to earn from photography. I'm okay with earning from photography. First put in at least 5 years by putting in money into photography. Then you start earning in photography.
Okay.
Why is it that it's unfair that this profession is treated like a gold mine? जैसे ही तुम शुरू करोगे, you're talking about earning.
Yeah. कैमरा आ गया बस हो गया.
When you decide to become, let's say, as I said, we are using the doctor lawyer. You decide to become an engineer. Do you get into your college and first day say, "अच्छा मेरा salary क्या है?" Yeah, मेरी earning नहीं आ रही.
Definitely not.
नहीं, right? So,
Yeah.
understand, any profession you go into, you first pay your dues. You first learn. Without learning, without practicing, without qualifying, without having experience, you cannot expect a vocation to give you money. You shouldn't,
Okay.
right? So
Definitely.
this is
Yeah.
what photographers really need to understand. When they ask me how do I monetize, I will tell you how to monetize. The simplest way to monetize in photography is the day you can ask for money, you've learned to monetize. Again, if you were
Okay.
shooting somebody and you say, "सुन मैं shoot करूँगा लेकिन मुझे 500 रुपए दे," and then the person says, "हाँ मैं तुझे 500 रुपए दूँगा ये ले," they've started earning from photography.
उस दिन से monetize. Okay. Okay. Okay.
The day you can ask for 10,000 bucks, you ask for 10,000. The day you can ask for a lakh, you ask for a lakh. The moment
Lakh.
you're being paid what you're asking for, you've done it.
उस
Your
दिन.
career.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. And then there must be so many aspiring photographers as well. So how can they work on the skills apart from working for 5 years? But did you do any would you recommend them any course or anything online that they can learn and look up to?
See, right now, again, any learning. So I can recommend, like my institution was good for me, right? It worked well for me.
Okay.
But everybody's going to find their own institute. There are going to be different levels, different budgets, different entry-level requirements, different skill standards.
Okay.
It's too vast a question to answer. It's just like saying, same thing, doctory ka le lo. Like, I can't say, हाँ, इसी institute में जाओ, इधर ही से करो, go to Switzerland and go to this thing and become a doctor there. That's not a
Doesn't work like
recommendation. I can- I'll say, listen,
Okay.
based on your economics, based on your situation, your location, your this thing, you find where you can learn that craft to the best. But the one thing you have an advantage of in today's day and age is the internet, right? The world's knowledge is open to you at your fingertips, literally. So look up at good masters, right?
Okay.
There's this simple term I use called "you shit what you eat," right?
Okay.
If you had a pizza, you're not going to shit out biryani. Okay? If you had gulab jamun, you're not going to shit out ice cream. Right?
Okay.
It's simple. It's going through your body, it's transforming, and you're taking it up. Right? It's the same thing creative. Right? When it's going through your mind, whatever you're consuming is going through your mind, it's getting this thing, good things are staying in there, bad things are coming out. Dhire, dhire, whatever comes in, comes out. So, that saying that they say, aim for the stars and you hit the moon or whatever, like one of those things. It's the same analogy. It's the better the art you look at, the better your output would be from that. So it's like, sorry, one last example. If you grow up with Govinda and David Dhawan films, when you go and make your first film, you're not going to make a Satyajit Ray or a Hitchcock.
Definitely no. Okay.
The same thing. Look up at good masters, do some research, ask for help, you know stuff, ask for names from them, study them in detail as much as you can. Understand their life, their work, their influences, and it will seep into something.
Okay. And Shivaji, most of the people, even the liberal or the educated ones, look at this picture in a way that this is not what we should do, or this is not something that we should look at, and they consider it vulgar. But then how do you as a photographer draw a line between nudity and vulgarity? Like how do you differentiate them?
Well, some nudity can be vulgar, but the word vulgar also is something we should question. Because we use vulgarity for something which is so natural. Think about it. Anything you do with your body, be it sexually, be it as an exhibitionist, or be it as, in whatever way you use it, why is it vulgar? Because it's the most natural thing. Now, like, let's talk about the sex trade, right? People are selling their mind and their body in other ways every day. Why is that more respectful for a sex worker who's selling their body for the same thing? Why is that happening? Because we've attached morality to this entire thing, right? So the vulgar, or that something negative or something wrong, comes from this sense of morality. which is a religious
Yeah.
thing, which is a power thing. It is basically a way for men to control women, and that is
Yeah.
seeped in through religion and morality, and it's been ingrained into society. If you think
Yeah.
about it, even marriage is just a way to
True.
buy a woman and to own a woman. People don't want to accept that.
Okay.
It's very harsh, but it is.
Yeah. It.
That is where marriage started. Like that is what marriage is. Marriage was कि ये मेरी है, इसको छूना मत. There's some
Okay.
sheep. There's a woman. These are mine. Don't touch it. I'm married.
Don't touch. Okay.
Don't right.
Yeah, I think
It
those
was
are.
an act of ownership on paper, on page.
Yeah, definitely.
Marriage was not a romantic concept. Marriage was never a romantic concept. It has evolved now and it has changed now.
Okay.
And we're not even
Okay.
dealing with it correctly in the romantic way anyway. So
Romantic. And Shivaji, as you mentioned about men and women, I just want to ask that what is the percentage of, say, when it comes to boudoir or nude photography, that there are like 60% women and 40%. Matlab, what's the ratio? I mean, I think there are lesser men going into it than women. This is what I'm assuming.
there's slightly lesser men, I would say that. I don't know the exact percentage because I can't tell you that. But,
I'm just asking from your rough experience.
It would be 70-30 or 80-20, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Also, see, because it's two different things, right? Women are always dealing with body issues. So it becomes an
Yeah,
act of,
I was going to talk about that. Yeah.
it becomes an act of defiance when they're kind of. For men,
Yeah.
it's also an insecurity, but of a different kind. Right?
Yeah.
Men rarely want to show their penis. Like, it's just something men are really scared of. Right, but why are they scared
Okay.
of it? Because society is constantly telling them that we're going to judge you on the side of your penis. Right, so now
Yeah.
imagine like every guy is thinking like, I'm not big enough, I shouldn't do this. Even if some guy was interested,
Yeah.
he would so worried about the ridicule.
Yeah.
Right, so it's a
Yeah.
different set of ridicule, but it's there.
Yeah, but for women, it's like there are so many parts. Like my thighs are too big, or my breasts are too small. I mean, they have. Yeah,
it's
and
like
you
the
must
men
have
have
come
one
across so
insecurity.
many.
Yeah, men have 1 in 20, women have 20 on the same list.
20,
So it's a
yeah.
much better subject for them. And maybe that's what drives them out to do it more. You understand? The higher the oppression, the bigger the defiance, right? So when the oppression is more there, that's why the defiance is more there as well.
Okay. And then, Shivaji, I remember the incident when I was doing this boudoir photography, and like the photographer told me that, look, you look good enough, sab theek hai. He was trying to motivate me about my body because I was really underconfident. So do you also have to have that conversation with the models कि नहीं सब ठीक है, तुम्हें जितना बुरा लगे उतना भी बुरा नहीं है? Like, does that conversation happen, or that conversation happens much before the photo shoot?
I think that conversations happens with everyone. Forget the models
Okay,
and not
okay.
shooting. Forget the models. It happens with everyone. It's not even like a. I don't think it's restricted to the subjects or my subject.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's our problem, and I think it's high time that we get over it and start loving our body as it is.
But
Yeah.
listen, boss, there's no profit in loving your body. No, I understand. It's all capitalism. That's why you have to do political love. But it's all somebody's
Yeah.
going to make money out of your insecurity. No.
Yeah. So many brands thrive on our insecurities.
Exactly. I get up in the morning and I splash my face with water and I comb my hair and I'm done. Right? How many things do
True.
women have to think about? Why? Because somebody can sell them something to make them feel better about what they did in the morning and out. So,
Yeah.
and they tried that with women also. I mean, now they're like fairness creams for men and skin softening and this and that and
Yeah.
beard grooming and whatnot.
Okay. Yeah, so one person asking, does models get uncomfortable for their body hair? How do you make them comfortable? Like body hair, I think there are like 10,000 issues, not just body hair, right?
Yeah, but body hair is like, I like to shoot people natural, so I like body hair. So for me, if somebody is asking me that question before the shoot, I'll just say, please leave it as is.
Okay, so you
it's not
find
about-
it whatever.
Yeah, but see, it's if somebody who doesn't want to shoot with body hair, they'll make sure they don't have body hair. It's not
Body
something
hair,
that you have to make them comfortable about in general. It's normally just a question. Like people
Okay.
ask me, like, listen, I have hair right now. Is that okay? I don't feel comfortable. Maybe that statement comes in. I said, listen, it doesn't bother me. If it bothers you, then that's up to you. But it doesn't bother me. It's not a criteria.
Okay. Yeah.
So-
And sure, when we look at boudoir photographers' life from a distance, it looks very glamorous कि मतलब इनको तो है ना इन लड़कियों के साथ घूमने को मिलता होगा, time spend करने को मिलता होगा. So tell me about how the life of a nude photographer is. There must be so many people who must be curious to know.
I'll tell you exactly how it is. Firstly, मैं कहीं घूमने नहीं जाता हूँ, ठीक है? मैं अपने गर्लफ्रेंड के साथ रहता हूँ, and the only time it's very this thing is when I'm home alone and I'm naked myself. So there's no glamour to that. Okay, there's no glamour to that.
Okay.
It's I mean, see, it doesn't
It's
have
just
anything
work.
to do with the profession. It's how each individual is. If somebody wants to
Okay.
go out, have fun, socialize, whatever with, that's fine for them.
Yeah.
I'm a person who sits at home. Like this lockdown for me has been nothing. It's like acha mere dost nahi aa pa rahe, but other than that, there's no difference in my life. I'm sitting at home and editing. I might shoot 4 days in a month, 5 days in a month. So for me, nothing has changed almost. Right.
Okay.
The only thing I'm missing is my friends coming over and us. We do game night. We do this, that. So it's things like that.
No, so Shivaji, you are saying that even during the lockdown, during this situation, nothing has changed. Is it so?
For me, not.
Okay.
But
then do you do?
Let's say writers and stuff, or actors. For them, this is fine. It's not an issue at
But
all.
ऐसा नहीं, do you do virtual shoots?
I have been doing them.
Oh, okay. And do you think that's the future, because COVID-19 will change so many things, so many professions, and the way it worked before? So, what do you think will be the future for?
It's the future because photography will still be what it is. This is just another subgenre which is created out of this whole situation. Right? I mean, now suddenly there would be photographers who would think like, hey, listen, I can get in touch with somebody who's sitting in Antarctica and I can. So yeah, that's the only difference. I mean, you've just broken down another boundary and created a solution for yourself in terms of travel.
Okay.
But nothing else.
Okay. And like one of our viewer, Nihar, is asking how to get models for boudoir photography or muses, like how to approach them.
Well, I'm going to speak about this in detail this month on my Patreon. You can find the link on my this thing because I've been doing these tutorials on there as well. But in short, if you start with people you know.
Okay.
It's the same thing.
Start with people.
It's who's going to give you money, that starts your career. Who's going to shoot with you, that starts your boudoir career. Like it's the same thing. जिसने हाँ बोला, उसके साथ काम कर.
Okay.
You don't go outside the road with a placard saying that looking for boudoir models. You ask your friend.
Do you have to put in extra efforts to prove that you are the good guy, the one they can trust?
See, for me it's different because I've been doing it for 10, 11, 12 years.
Okay.
I simply have so much body of work behind me that I don't, like if somebody doesn't want to do it doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
Like,
Interesting.
I don't know people ki like, ye karna. So if somebody approaches me, I say, listen, right now I'm shooting nudes and I'm shooting lingerie, I'm shooting this and that. If you're interested, let me know. It's not like, I'm not here to force anyone or convince anyone. That's not my job.
That's not what. Okay. And just few of the last questions that one of the viewers was asking about the software. Like I wouldn't understand the technicalities, but if you just want to tell them the software that you use to maybe edit your pictures or.
Oh, I use Photoshop.
Oh, okay. You use Photoshop. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. And anything else that you think I might have missed out on? And yeah, in your name Storm, तुमने खुद लगाया या नाम था ही पहले से Storm?
So I was into gaming earlier. My first profession was gaming. And Storm was my gaming avatar.
Okay.
So that kind of went over into photography as well.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I mean there are so many questions, but I think they'll approach you personally.
एक काम करो.
Yeah.
A few questions you think you want to get into. Just do the question.
No. Yeah, and you also have a look. You the ones you think are more relevant than the others. Love your work. It's too liberating to look at. Yeah. So, someone was also asking they want to do internship with you, just in case if you want to consider them.
I don't do internships. What I do is my workshops used to happen, and whoever,
Okay.
all the students of my workshop, they're put in a WhatsApp group, and whenever I
Okay.
need somebody to assist me, I put out a saying that, are you available? So it only goes out to my ex-workshop students, the internship.
Oh, okay.
It
Okay.
doesn't go out to anybody I
Yeah.
do.
Someone is asking, will you do commissioned work or based on model request? I think you do commissioned work, right? That's how you earn.
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
that's well as survival.
Censorship of your art in social media platforms like Instagram. उस पे कुछ कहना चाहे तो आप.
Say that again.
Censorship of your art on platforms like Instagram.
It's something which is not, so you can't take that personally because they're applying that
Yeah,
same
it's for
thing to
everyone,
everyone
yeah.
else, right? It happened by Tumblr. All my nude work was on Tumblr, and then Tumblr just suddenly went, PG-13. So all my
Okay.
nudes went off this thing. But that's how I started
Okay.
Patreon, where it's just more selected people who want to support my work can come in and see that work. So it
Okay,
becomes much
okay.
easier. And also, then I
Yeah.
don't put up on Instagram because I don't want my account to get like this thing flagged. It's
Okay.
pointless. It's
Yeah.
like, I mean, you can fight the censorship, but it's like, why do I even need to fight it if there's another platform which is allowing me to put it up, right?
To put it up. Okay. And what are your views on collaborations or free shoots?
I think I just did that with the 4-day thing, remember?
Yeah.
I mentioned that with the 4-day thing.
Yeah.
Like, if I
4-day
want to
thing.
shoot someone, then I could put out those 4 days. But that's a call for me. Then that's a very planned call. If I'm working with this person, I think I'm going to get images which are worth me giving up 4 days of my time.
Okay.
Right? So
Okay.
it's that.
Yeah.
It's that choice.
Yeah.
Somebody's
Now,
asking, are you planning
आज
online workshops during this quarantine?
workshop did. Yeah.
All my workshops
शिवाजी
have
बहुत
now,
फैंस है तुम्हारे. Please.
all my workshops have now gone to my Patreon. It's in the $7 tier. I'm doing live videos. I'm doing tutorials. I'm putting up all of that content on there.
Okay. So yeah, for all those people who want to learn, I mean, they have an
Then
option
go there.
now.
There's an interesting
Yeah.
comment there. It says, I'm a nude model and I don't want to work for free. Now, it's the same
Perfect.
thing. This is great.
Uh,
It's the same thing for the model. The moment you say that, listen, I'm going to post for you, but give me $500, give me $10,000, give me $100,000. Whoever says,
Yeah.
I'll give you that money, that's when you've started earning. So it is simple supply and demand. If somebody has value for your time and this thing, if they're willing to give it to you, then you charge. If they're not willing to give it to
Yeah.
you take a call that is it worth me working for free with this person? Same thing, model and photographer, both sides. Is it worth me giving away this time and myself for the time for free, or is it not? So let's say if the nude model has to think that if I'm going to give my time and I'm going to shoot with the photographer, is the result I'm going to get worth me putting in that time and effort? Right. So you choose wisely. As a model, also you choose that I want to work with a photographer who does benefit, let's say, my emotions, my aesthetic feeling, my portfolio, my work, whichever way, whatever they are doing it for. Right.
Yeah, I think it should be a win-win situation. Only then. Yeah.
Why would you go into a lose-lose situation anyway? I mean, why would you do something you don't want to do?
True.
Nobody's forcing you. Nobody's
Forcing you, yeah.
someone. They're either paying me or I want to shoot them. These are my two categories, right? So the same way for the nude is nobody's forcing her to pose nude. Either she wants to pose it for someone or she wants to get paid for it. So
Paid for it. True.
She has to make that choice. So this comes down to people saying that हाँ मुझे नहीं करना है and हाँ मुझे करना है. But you have to stand by that. I'm going to say
Stand
no,
by that.
say yes.
Yeah.
And not regret that decision either.
Later. True. And Shivaji, someone was asking that which software do you use for your virtual shoots? Like what do you use for your virtual shoots?
I'm using WhatsApp video calls and I'm just shooting with my GoPro.
Okay. Yeah, through WhatsApp video calls. Wow, that's an art. I mean, to just get the pictures. What are the? I mean, if you can just read this, what Neera Sarkar is saying. if you find that relevant.
These are the kind of ones. What are ideas?
Yeah. Ideas about posting in front of camera. I mean, what do you think being effortless works or putting effort is needed? I think
See,
that's.
what she's asking is basically, should you be putting in, or what is the procedure to kind of post, right? And I think the best to answer that is, uh, posing is like cycling or cooking. Like, the more you do it, the more comfortable you get, the more confident you get, and the better you get. So it's be that. It's practice plus confidence plus the need or want to do it.
Yeah.
So it's about self-growth or self-learning, or you can even learn from YouTube videos. I'm sure there are
There are like tons of them, yeah. There's someone, I hope you're reading the comment, Master Ji.
He's a friend of mine.
Oh, okay.
So
No,
he joined one of my workshops, attended 5-6 of them, and now he's become one of my closest friends. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. There are so many people who really admire your work and who really want to learn from you have joined the conversation, and I'm really glad we had this conversation today. I got to learn a lot, and yeah, if there is anything you would want to add, then please go ahead. You have already said much that we can learn from.
The only one thing I'll say is anybody who's creative in any way, and I don't mean by photography, I mean if you're a writer, you cook, you sing, you do anything that's kind of creative, right? This is a great time, or any time, whenever you feel like you're stuck, right?
Yeah.
Whenever you feel depressed, you feel anything which is kind of a block for you, or you feel like nothing is happening.